Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
The security camera catches them trying to run and hide. Brand new video just in of 3 suspects wanted in the shooting of a Detroit police officer. That officer was shot in the leg last Friday as they were responding to a shot spotter call. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Kimberly Gill.
And I'm Devon Fernandez in for Devin Skillian. Just take a look at that video again. The tail end of it clearly shows one of the suspects holding a gun and running to hide. Mara McDonald is live at DPD headquarters where police held an update this afternoon. Mara, this video has a decent look at those 3 suspects.
Demond, it really does. And DPD has also screen capped some individual shots of the young men on this video. They're asking for everybody to please take a look at them. Last Friday, police got a shot spotter run around midnight. When they got to Meringue and Whitehall, police say they were shot at. They say 3 young men had broken into an illegal marijuana operation. 1 officer was hit in the calf.
What we really need now is our community's help, which we do often, and they always respond.
Police are now releasing video of the suspects they're looking for. Investigators say this is the 3 of them hiding in the bushes. Pay attention to the final suspect, who you can see runs away from them momentarily, and when he returns, you can see the gun visible. Police say they're all young. The first suspect, a male in late teens to early 20s, between 5'7" to 5'9", with a slim build and dark hair. He had an orange sweatshirt on at the time with writing on the front. The second, also late teens to early 20s, 5'7" to 5'9", also slim with dark hair, wearing a black Adidas jacket. And the third, late teens to early 20s, 5'7" to 5'9", slim build with dark hair, wearing dark clothing and armed with a handgun.
We do believe they live in that area, so we truly want to get our best partners in this business, our community, to give us some assistance.
Back here live, the assistant chief says the officer who was shot is still in active recovery, and he has quite a way to go, and they would appreciate all prayers. We're live at Detroit Police Headquarters. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4. Demond, Kimberly, back to you.
All right, thanks for staying on top of this, Mara. Our other top story this afternoon, here at 5, the Michigan State Board of Trustees has given the okay for alcohol to be sold at Spartan Stadium.
And the first beers could be poured as soon as the 3rd week of the season. Megan Woods live tonight with the next steps. Megan, this puts Michigan State in line with other schools in the Big Ten.
Kimberly, 11 other universities and MSU looked at the data from them to really make this decision. Now, that meeting today where they approved this was this morning. We were there over Zoom, and it didn't take long for them to make the final decision. Take a look. That meeting lasted 12 minutes. There was one public comment that was in support of the change. Then
I'd like to call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Interim University President Teresa Woodruff says there is Big Ten data related to selling alcohol at games.
A 50% reduction in arrests in the stadium at the University of Iowa, an 87% reduction in alcohol-related incidents at games since the beginning of the sale of alcohol at Penn State.
Data from police and public safety departments, from peer institutions within the Big Ten shows that there was not an increase in alcohol-related incidents when allowing guests to purchase alcohol during athletic events.
The next step is to apply for licenses and move to sell alcohol 60 minutes before a game, and the cutoff is 10 minutes into the 3rd quarter. And based on the numbers from other universities, they could make $250,000 a game. We asked Mothers Against Drunk Driving about the decision.
You know, the reality is the NCAA allows this to happen, and our hope is that regardless of the venue, that wherever alcohol is sold, that no person under 21 years and older or younger is allowed to drink.
And MSU isn't just applying for licenses at Spartan Stadium, but Breslin Center, Munn Ice Arena, as well as where they play soccer and baseball. So they just have to wait to see, you know, those next steps, applying for that license. Back to you.
Okay, so that's the latest on Michigan State. Megan, is there any update about alcohol sales coming to the Big House in Ann Arbor?
Well, no decisions have been made yet, so they're still, you know, talking about it. So we have to keep a close eye on if they do decide to move forward with that.
We know you'll keep us updated. Megan Woods, we appreciate it. Well, 3 skunks have tested positive for rabies in Macomb and Clinton Township, but not before they attacked pets.
Yeah, so after the attacks, the skunks were put down and tested positive for rabies. Animal control is urging residents to be cautious and to keep themselves and their pets safe. The CDC recommends to leave wild animals alone, but if you're bitten or scratched by one, to immediately wash the area. And pet owners should keep all animals up to date with rabies vaccinations.
Newly elected Michigan House and Senate lawmakers will no longer be able to bring weapons into the state capitol. The Michigan State Capitol Commission unanimously passed a total weapons ban in the building today. Michigan State Police and Capitol security officers can still carry firearms, so can any approved private security personnel. It's also worth noting this does not apply to current sitting lawmakers who have a concealed pistol license. As former President Donald Trump prepares to turn himself into Georgia authorities after being indicted late Monday, President Joe Biden is working to draw attention to his administration's accomplishments.
Yeah, today the president held an event at the White House aimed at celebrating efforts to lower costs and creating jobs. NBC's Bree Jackson is at the White House where the president's event just wrapped up.
Today, President Biden is marking the 1-year anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act. It's part of his efforts to highlight for the American people what this major piece of legislation is doing for them. And it comes on the heels of the 4th indictment against the GOP frontrunner, former President Trump. President Biden touting his successes, highlighting the Inflation Reduction Act he signed into law 1 year ago and its historic investments in clean energy and climate.
Together, we can make this transition to a clean energy future fair and just. And that means ensuring that auto jobs continue to be good jobs.
Issues like the economy remain top of mind for many, including voters who the president needs to win the 2024 election. Despite his administration's efforts to create jobs and tackle inflation, polls show the president remains neck and neck in a potential rematch with former President Trump, whose legal battles remain front and center.
I'm paying attention to that independent members as well as those swing voters who are tired of the indictments and the conversations around Donald Trump and they want to move on.
Mr. Trump's latest indictment includes charges related to alleged efforts to overturn Georgia's 2020 election results. Former Vice President Mike Pence weighing in on his former running mate's 4th indictment for the first time.
The Georgia election was not stolen, and I had no right to overturn the election on January 6th.
Judge Scott McAfee will oversee the Georgia case against Trump and 18 other co-defendants, including former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani.
This is a ridiculous application of the racketeering statute.
Former President Trump insists he's innocent and claims he has evidence to prove it. He says he'll reveal that at a news conference Monday. And on Monday, President Biden will travel to Maui to meet with first responders and survivors in the wake of the deadly wildfires on the island. At the White House, Bree Jackson, Local 4.
And there's nowhere yet from Mr. Trump's team on when he will surrender, but he has to do it by the deadline, which is August 25th. Well, a U.S. appeals court is ruling to restrict access to the abortion pill mifepristone.
The U.S. Appeals Circuit Court in New Orleans blocked changes that made the drug more accessible. This comes after 4 anti-abortion groups and 4 anti-abortion doctors sued back in November, claiming the FDA used an improper process when it approved the drug back in 2000. Well, for now, this won't change the availability of the drug due to an emergency order from the U.S. Supreme Court back in April. All right. Now to what's turned out to be a beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful Wednesday as we take a live look outside at this picture from our Windsor Sky Cam. But now we have some worries about what could be coming for tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's get over to Kim Adams in our first look at the 4-1 forecast. Hey, Kim.
Hey, well, can we just live in the moment just
for
a little bit longer?
Just soak that up a little bit.
Let me just step out and let you enjoy that for a while. It's so beautiful. I mean, not a cloud in sight. If you are headed downtown for the Pink concert tonight, it's going to be just gorgeous. You're always risking being for, an outdoor concert in Southeast Lower Michigan in August is always a risk, but it certainly did pan out tonight. Upper 70s in Detroit and Howell, 78 in Pontiac, 78 also in Adrian. Visible satellite. When I say there's barely a cloud in sight, I mean there's barely a cloud in sight. High pressure, very stable air mass over top of us now. Yes, that will change tomorrow, but for right now, we've got a nice evening, perfect to eat outside if you can. 78 in Pontiac, 77 in Mount Clemens, 82 the warm spot in downtown Detroit. It is about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than it was this same time yesterday. Tomorrow, well, we do have to talk about it because there is a chance for strong to severe storms tomorrow afternoon, wind and hail being the two primary threats, and we are under a level 1 marginal risk. So I'll time those storms out for you. We'll talk more about when they'll be arriving coming up.
A day so nice you just don't want to interrupt it. All right, thanks, Kim. Well, a whole lot more to come on this sunny Wednesday.
Let's check in with Hank.
Is the vehicle you're driving safe? You may be surprised to learn what the experts have determined regarding the most popular rides on the road right now. I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. The information you need to know coming up.
And they don't usually happen this late in the summer. New tonight, Michigan firefighters are battling a growing wildfire up north. We'll have that. Rod?
So we're back to the battle at the gas pump.
It's crazy. So like really, I was just trying to fill up here to go to another spot where I can find it a little cheaper, you know what I mean?
Prices are up and you want to know if we're going to see some relief. Well, there's a chance of that. We'll tell you when.